Right, grade 8, as mentioned in the PowerPoint presentation, I said I will also explain and show you the example on the whiteboard just to perhaps make it a bit easier for you. Those of you who are working in the journal books, the physical books, and not in the work or on the worksheets, I've just got two here. This one says 8-column cash journal, and remember we said in this journal books we never work on a single page, we work on a double page. So I've just shown you that this is one way of doing it. This book doesn't have the details or the bigger details column at the end, but you can still use it and just adjust it a little bit so that you can use it for your journal. So this one is perfectly fine. This is an 8-column cash journal, and then the one that I've used in my example is the 8-column creditors journal. So once again over a double page, but you will see that this one has a bit of a space for the details at the end. But as long as you have columns, you can actually draw columns with your hand as well. It doesn't really matter if you make use of the actual journal books. So what we have here on the board is then the format for the cash receipts journal, and this example was for Sparky electricians. This is on the PowerPoint presentation as well. So they said to us we must open columns for analysis of receipt, bank, current income, and sundry account. So let's see how do we do this journal, and I'm going to do it with you on the whiteboard, this example. They said we must close off the journal at the end of the month, which we will do, and this is for March 2019. So if we need to record the transactions, how do we do it? We always first start by giving a heading to your journal. This is very important, grade 8. So let's do this. At the top we will say cash receipt journal of, and then you write the business's name, the name of the business. This one is Sparky Electricians. Sparky Electricians. Then you make a dash and then you write the month and the year. This was for March 2019. So March 2019. And then we said we need to number our journals. Now this one, they didn't give us a number, so how do we know which number to use? If you go to the very first transaction, it says there, S. Sparky started his business by depositing and so on. So we know this is a brand new business, so therefore we will number our CRJ number 1. If you can see it's a business that's already been operating for a couple of months and they do not give you a number, you can use any one. But if it's a brand new business, you obviously have to start with 1. Okay, so let's go to the transactions. On the first, S. Sparky started his business by depositing 100,000 Rand via EFT in the current bank account of the business. Okay, so the first column that we have here is the document number column. In that column, we write down the number of the source document from which we got the information to record that transaction. So in this case, what is our source document? The owner deposited this money or transferred this money via EFT. So where will we see this transaction? We will see it on the business's bank statement. So therefore, our document number or document in this case is BS for bank statement. The day is the date on which the transaction took place. It's on the 1st. In the details column, we write who gave us the money or why did we receive the money. And in this case, we write S. Sparky. This is the owner and he gave us the money. The folio column just in front of your first money column is then not used in grade 8. We will only use it in grade 9. But I prefer you to write folio, then you are aware of that small little column, but we don't write anything into it. Then we get to our analysis of receipts column. Now remember we said the analysis of receipt column is like the till in the business. We only record amounts in this column or transactions in this column if we physically receive the money in the store. All right. Now, this 100,000 rand that the owner gave us, did he come with a big bag of money and give us the 100,000 rand there in the till or well, in the office for that matter? No. First of all, it is actually very irresponsible to walk around with that amount of money. And that's why it's much easier to rather deposit the money straight into the bank account. So we didn't get the money in the till, in the store, so we can't write and we won't write anything there. So that 100,000 rand was deposited directly in the business's bank account. So all money that we receive must be deposited in the bank account and written therefore in the bank column. Some of them will be first in analysis and then in bank, but ultimately it must end up in bank because it needs to show us that this is all the cash that we received during this month. Okay, once we've said, okay, the money, we received it in the bank, we recorded it in the bank column, now we need to say, why did we receive the money? So why did we receive this money? Because the owner started this business, so he gave that money as capital to the business. Now we ask ourselves, is there a column for capital? No, we only have analysis, bank, and current income. So for any transaction that doesn't have its own column, we go to the sundry account. So in the sundry accounts, under amount, you will write 100,000. The folio column, this folio column, we will deal with a little bit later in the year when we do posting to the ledger, but for now we're not doing anything, so you can just leave it open. And then in the details column, we write, why did we receive this money? What is the account that's involved in this transaction? And that is capital, because the owner started the business, he gave the money as capital. Happy with that transaction? Good. Let's move on to the second. On the 2nd of March, sublet a part of the building to Be Clever for 2,600 rand and issued receipt 001. So there we have a document number. I assume the tenant came into the store, 2,600, still quite a bit of money. But anyway, maybe he brought it cash, maybe he paid us with a check. They didn't mention it there, but the fact of the matter is we did receive the money in the store, in the business, because we issued a receipt. So our document number is 001. That's for the receipt. The day is the 2nd. Who gave us this money, or why did we get it? Be Clever gave us this money. Good. We leave the folio column for now in grade 8. Did we receive this money in the till, in the store? Yes. So we're going to put it in the analysis of receipt column. Now, grade 8, before you go and put the money in the bank, you always need to check, isn't there another transaction that has taken place on that day where we received money in the till or put money in the till? So if you let your eyes go down, you will see the cash still on the 2nd. The cash register roll showed 3,500 for services rendered. So there is another transaction. So I am not going to put the money in the bank yet, because remember we said we only go to the bank once a day at the end of the day. So you leave the bank column open for now. It will get there now. Right, then you ask yourself, why did we receive this 2,600 rand? Because the tenant paid us rent. Is there a column for rent income in our CRJ? No. So therefore we move over to the sundry accounts. 2,600. We leave the folio column for now and we state the name of the account. Now remember, in a business we can have rent income and rent expense. So please don't just write rent income, so that you don't get confused, especially when we do posting to the ledger. Just trust me on that one, write rent income, that's the name of the account. Good, so then we go to the second transaction on the 2nd. There they said the cash register roll showed 3,500 for services rendered for the day. So our document will then be CRR, cash register roll. That's what we use, but some textbook also speak about CRT for cash register type, or they make a tick, and that also represents cash register roll. I'll accept any of those three. You can use whatever. but I stick to CRR. Then the day, it is still the second. So we do not usually repeat the day if it's already written down there. It makes it easier for us to find transactions, and it saves time. And with accounting, we're always working against time, so leave out what you don't have to write. Good. Why did we receive this money? For services rendered. We don't have a specific person's name because obviously it might be a couple of people to whom we rendered the service. So our details will just be services rendered. Right, we leave the folio column open. We definitely receive this money in the store, in the till, because it's according to the cash register roll. So we put the 3,500 in analysis of receipt. Good. Now you check. Is there another transaction on the second? No. So now we can say, okay, it's the end of the day and we've recorded all the transactions that applied to our till. We've entered them. What we can do now is, I always tell my kids, we draw a line. That means we close the till. Right? We close the till and then we take the money to the bank. Now what do? We add these two amounts, 2,600 plus 3,500. That gives me 6,100. And we write it in line or on the last line of that day's transaction. So we will write over here 6,100. So that is what we deposited into the business's bank account for that day. Good. But now we mustn't forget about this 3,500. We haven't taken it to the other column or another account. Why did we receive this money? Because we rendered a service. Services rendered, what name do we use? What account name do we use? We use current income. So you're going to go down in line with this transaction. We're going to write 3,500. Good. That it looks a bit skewed now. Let me rather just write it a bit down. 3,500. Great. That was then on the second. The 14th, cash received for services rendered 940 Rand according to the cash register roll. So we're back over here. The document number is again CRR. The date is the 14th. Why did we receive this money, or from whom? They didn't give us a name, but we received it because we rendered services. Services rendered. Good. We definitely received this money in the till because it's cash register roll, and that is 940 Rand. So we're going to write it in analysis of receipt. Check, is there another transaction that happened on this day? No. So at the end of the day, I can close the till and I take the money to the bank, 940. Then you ask yourself, why did I receive this money? Because I rendered a service. What is services rendered account name in our business's books? Current income. So I go to my current income column and I write 940. Good. Last one, on the 31st, the bank statement from FNB shows an amount of 109 Rand received as interest. So, when we get to our document number column, in this case, we saw this transaction on the bank statement. That is our source document. The day is the 31st. Why did we receive this money, or from whom did we receive this money? They gave us FNB. That's where we bank. So we write in our details column FNB. Did we receive this 109 Rand interest in the store? Did one of the tellers of FNB come and give us the 109 Rand so that we can put it in the till? No. The bank automatically added it onto our bank accounts balance because we had a positive bank balance. So we did not get the money in the till. It went straight into our bank account. It was added onto our bank's balance. 109 Rand. Right, so it is in bank. Now we ask ourselves, why did we get this money? Why did we receive this money? Because we received interest. Is there a column for interest? No. So I go to the sundry accounts. So in sundry accounts, I write 109. I leave the folio column for now, and my reason or my account that's affected is interest income. Once again, just like with rent income, we also can have interest expense. So therefore, it's important to indicate interest income or interest expense. And obviously, if we receive interest, it's an income to the business. Good. Now we check. That's the end of the month. There's no other transactions. They did ask us to close off the journal at the end of the month. That means we need to get totals for all of our money columns. So we draw a line. Now mine is going to be freehand, so please bear with me. Pardon, like that. We draw a line. Now very important, we never ever add the analysis of receipt column. We never ever get a total there. Why? Is this money that we received in the till, is it still in the till? No, it's not. Every time at the end of the day, we took the money to the bank. So basically at the end of the month, there's nothing left here. All of that money has been deposited into the bank account. And therefore, we never get a total for the analysis of receipt column. But we need to total our other columns. So let's do that. So now you add 100,000 plus 6,100 plus 940 plus 109 Rand. And if you do that on your calculator, you should get, and please double check me, 107,149. 107,149. Good. Then we go on to the next column. Current income. If you add that, you should get 4,440. 3,500 and plus 940. Then the last column is our sundry accounts, 100,000 plus 2,600 plus 109, and that should give you 102,709. Good. Now, one way of you checking whether you've done your calculations correctly, because we know sometimes we press something wrong on the calculator or a minus instead of a plus and so on, is that my bank account or my bank columns total must always be equal to all my other money columns. So 107,149 must be equal to 4,440 plus 102,709. So you can add that up and then it should show you that these two added together do give you 107,149. So that is just a way of checking. Why else should it be? Remember we said for every debit in our business's books there should be a credit. Now that means my bank account, when we get to that a bit later, my bank account will be debited with this total and my other accounts will all be credited. Can you also see, remember we take this away because these amounts have been transferred to bank. Can you see that every amount does appear twice in my journal, in my CRJ. There's the 100,000, there's it again. There's the 2,600, which is part of the 6,100, and there's it again. Here's my 3,500, which is actually here. There's the 3,500 again. 940, 940. 109, 109. So for every debit, there is a credit. And therefore, because all these amounts do appear in bank, my bank column must be equal to all my other money columns added together. Good. This is the CRJ. There's one thing that I wanted to mention that I didn't mention in the beginning. I see sometimes that students like to put an R in front of their amounts. People, please don't do that. First of all, we all know that these columns represent rand and cent. And secondly, it takes a lot of time actually to write these R's that are not necessary. And it also makes it difficult to mark or to read. So please don't put any R's. We know in accounting, when you see an amount or a number, it does represent an amount. Okay, I hope this helped you a bit. If there's any questions, you can please get back to us so that we can try and assist you. There's then activity 1 that you can now go and complete on the CRJ. You can complete your own CRJ and see if you can apply what we've discussed here.